Oh, bollocks, I fucked it up.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Join NAMBLA!
Hello everyone, it's Ethan McKinley, it's the 2-Minute Terminator, it's episode 66, and we are going to break down the Terminator films 2 minutes at a time. Thank God I got the intro right. And dead air again from Ellie.
Hey, I'm Ellie Fitzgerald. Sorry, I'm just laughing.
Giggling as always. The
As
giggling
always, the giggling boy.
Interesting enough, the famous line from Terminator 2, when he goes, "Hasta la vista, baby." Do you think that was a kind of post-awareness Arnold Schwarzenegger? Sorry.
Did you just say Schwarzenegger?
I did.
And Schwartz means black.
Shit.
So you're saying black nigger.
I'm not cutting that out. For the F-bombs you've dropped that I cut out for you, I'm leaving that one in.
The amount of, I've
Do you think that was a self-aware thing of them trying to create a new I'll be back?
Oh, fuck yeah. It's a pinnacle moment.
Hasta la vista, baby. Interesting, the sound effect you just heard of the little shards of T-1000 falling onto the floor.
Was that the sound it made when Sophie left you?
And my heart breaking.
Yeah.
Sophie, famous actress, Sony, oh god, Sony's a fucking electronics company. No, I'm doing it. I've caught my Tourette's from you by proxy.
By proxy.
Oh yeah, Sophie Level Anderson. Google her. Send us some dick pics or something. I don't give a fuck.
Not everyone sends dick pics, Ethan.
They do.
They
If
don't.
you're rocking a giant hog, they do.
If you're rocking a giant hog.
And I don't mean a Harley. Anyway, do you know they got that amazing sound, Ellie, of like the shards of T-1000?
Did they hit the
floor?
music?
Not yet.
Oh. No, I don't know then.
I'll tell you after the intro. Hit the music. Yes.
God.
Watch out for machines, they're unstoppable. Watch out for machines, they will rule the world.
Well, boy.
As discussed before the music.
The shattering sound?
Exactly, Ellie. Sorry, I had to prompt you.
No, you just had a brain fart.
The Foley guys basically got a bunch of nails and tacks and screws and just poured them onto the floor.
Can we play that sound?
We can.
We've got it looped on my computer, so we can just rewind yours.
But mine
back.
works.
Mine works too. Faggot.
Okay, here's the sound.
So what are we hearing again? Just to refresh our memory.
Various tacks, screws, and nails being dropped from a dizzy
Lynn.
height from a cardboard box. I don't know what kind of floor they used. I'm sure that might have been personal.
By a unicorn.
Yeah. Here we go. Hear it.
Very chingy. Like
Something there. I think they've added some twinkly kind of Foley on the end of it.
Do you know what that almost sounded like?
Your mom. having an
No,
orgasm.
Vangelis, Blade Runner.
Yes, you're referring to the track Memories of Green, I think.
Fucking hell, dude. That's amazing. And that's music. It is movie music.
It's
but
movie music. I know
dude,
movie music.
that's fucking... That's really fucking hell.
I can also tell you that track 2 on the Casino Royale soundtrack is called African Rundown. Just saying. What's that got to do with Terminator?
I was going to say that's fucking pointless. Yes, so what bookmarks this 2 minutes?
Well,
What
this
happens at
2
the beginning?
minutes
What happens at the end?
we are going from 1 hour 30 minutes. Sorry, the 130-minute mark to the 132-minute mark. So that's 2 hours, 10 minutes to 2 hours, 12 minutes. Those are the 2 minutes we are going to be discussing in this episode of the 2-Minute Terminator.
It starts with...
It starts with Robert Patrick being a frozen
Yeah, but
robot
is it
cop.
Robert Patrick, though? Or is it the
Well, the
the
close-up
nugget?
of Robert Patrick looking at his own arm, yes, they pulled the same trick they did with Carl Weathers in Predator, when they kind of they did it badly in that thing. Although, well, you remember the film when Dylan obviously goes to kind of redeem himself in a sense because he's got them all onto that bullshit mission to actually assassinate that group of guys. And it's not a rescue mission at all. And I guess his redemption, in a sense, is going back to back Mac up and kill the Predator.
Yeah.
And he gets like picked up by the Predator and he gets his arm shot off. But as he turns round, you can see his arm still under his
Yes,
thing,
you
can't you?
do.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if it's the DVD or the Blu-ray version, but they've kind of like recropped the picture so you can't see that anymore.
Oh.
The bad thing about that is you can't see much of the raggedy arm that's been shot off as well. But yeah, same thing they're doing with this, basically. The same thing they did with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the earlier scene when he reveals his roboticness to Dyson and pulls out his robot dick. So your arm is kind of behind your back, and they build a rig onto your shoulder with the fake arm.
You could kind of see it through his t-shirt, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done the same thing with Robert Patrick. So he's looking at like a stump with this like
Going,
frozen,
"What?"
fractured elbow. And like you said, yeah, why do we look at his like broken off arm in utter like suspense, going, what the fuck?
Because they don't have feelings or emotions.
Yeah, well, there's that. Although he's an
Or reactions,
infiltration
really.
unit, he wouldn't react that way. But then
No.
again, maybe he would. I don't know. But to say,
Yeah, but shock shows emotion.
yeah, why would he look at his own arm
He'd know.
when he could see in every direction? You'd imagine.
Exactly.
I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Surely he'd just deplete some other part of his body and just
I
form
wonder
the
if there's
arm
any like
again.
Terminator fan fiction or anything, or like Terminator fans that have kind of figured out how the T1000 would kind of work theoretically.
Something I always had an issue with. I'll just stuck my finger up my nose. When Arnold Schwarzenegger delivers the ever so famous line "Hasta la vista, baby," and shoots the T1000,
Yes.
surely it would have made more sense, because obviously the T1000 is frozen in that time.
Yes.
Surely it would have made more sense to have actually just picked up the frozen metal and then just dropped it all in one piece into the molten metal, right? As
Well-
opposed to shooting him, separating all the tiny little bits, which then melt and then form again, and he's back up and running.
Yeah.
Was that not a massive, massive mistake made by the T800?
Possibly, but then again, they don't know how to kill it in a sense because it's a prototype. So what is the option? If it was frozen and he shot it to pieces, you'd imagine that would be the end of things. They didn't
No, but it
think
wouldn't,
for a
because
minute
as
any
we
kind of
already know that the little bits all go.
At that point, yeah, but that's only because there's that runoff from the steel thing, which only heats up to kind of melt it again. You'd have to run in there. Bearing in mind as well, here, there's this kind of like liquid nitrogen nightmare happening all around them. You couldn't really walk anywhere near to that because you'd start freezing to death.
You would. In fact, I'm surprised more didn't freeze.
In fact, in the film Time Cop, a guy
Mr.
gets his
Freeze.
arm and shoulder and side of his body frozen with liquid nitrogen, and Van Damme just kicks the side of his body off.
And we're back to Steven Seagal. Just reminds me of...
And he never meets his match. Ever meets his match, Ellie.
Why is that?
Well, there was that one Jamaican guy in Marked for Death who we let him hit him once, but then he broke him in half and threw him down an elevator shaft.
Zip, zap, zip, zap, zap.
I like Under Siege 2 even better than Under Siege 1. The one on the train.
The effect where you see the little chunks of metal
Yep.
as they melt. That
Yep.
almost looks like smelting. You know when you get the
Soldering.
soldering. That's it. When you get the soldering iron, the solder, and you kind of melt it.
Well,
out.
Ellie, you are not wrong. That's exactly what that is.
Is it actually? Can
Yeah.
I get a high five? Yeah, 2 hands.
It's basically soldering metal, and they put it on a hot plate with the same lighting effects put around it, and they just literally heat the plate like a saucepan, if you will. And they filmed it at various camera speeds.
Do you know what's nuts though? Oh, okay. So they did change the speed.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say it does almost. Cause I was gonna say it looks like that, but the way it moves, it does look quite fake.
Much of the steel mill, which this scene is actually set in, is a quarter scale miniature. So it's not a real steel mill. It's basically a giant model, probably about 20 feet high and stuff.
Ethan, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do we have any facts?
We're in the middle of them. I was trying to sneak them in without you going.
Fact attack. Just done back to front. Okay.
Oh.
See what I did there?
Yeah. I ended up doing my own fact attack.
Yes.
Asshole.
No need. Anyway, carry on.
Right. Adam Greenberg did the lighting in the steel mill. and it's a combo of orange on one side of the face and blue to convey the interface of man and machine.
And the orange meaning like blood and life, right?
Yeah, so he's becoming more human, but also it's telling you again he's a machine. That's why the side that's lit in blue is the side that's got all the skin ripped off. So that's the reason for that. Now, all this here, the flames burning from the thing, that's basically flame bars.
Into the fire!
And as I said, the steel mill itself is a quarter scale miniature, and the melting shards of T1000, which are happening right now, it's basically a metal called Cerrobend, and it melts at a low melting point, and then it's moulded and shaped and heated on a hot plate. So basically, they bought a load of Cerrobend metal. I'm assuming it's for soldering, like you said.
I love the sound it makes. I know we can't hear it right now. I mean, it'd be great if we could get that.
We could.
We
don't want to get sued by Studio fucking Canal.
It just sounds awesome. It almost looks good enough to drink. Do not drink it, though. So that's the melting solder.
We don't have much time.
Do you reckon they went into Weight Watchers and just rippled a few ladies' bellies to get that sound effect? Also, why is John Connor sweating in this scene?
I think it was jelly actually. I think it was like jelly and stuff.
What, actually just wobbling jelly?
Yeah.
Why is John Connor sweating?
Have you ever been in a steel mill, Ellie?
Okay, right. So no one else is sweating. Sarah isn't sweating. Terminator, okay, he wouldn't sweat. They've literally just driven into the steel mill. Liquid nitrogen has just been fucking thrown everywhere. So that was freezing fucking cold. Granted, there is liquid metal all around them, but they've literally just crashed into that. The sweat is literally pissing down John's face.
It's very hot in there, Ellie.
So why isn't Sarah sweating? Sweaty Sarah.
She's probably not old enough for menopause.
Dude, look at that!
Well, it's a hot environment, and I guess it looks good on camera. It gives a detail and a character to the face, I guess.
Carrot of the face.
Yeah, basically we sellotape carrots to people's faces, so it looks like they're sweating.
Carrot of the face. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Neither does this podcast.
This is true, and yet it's awesome. I always used to think as a kid as well, when the T1000's actually reforming, when it's like that, just at that point, it actually looks like the head of the Terminator, the T1000, when he's got the helmet on and the Ray-Bans. I always used to think when I was a kid, when it first started to reform again, I thought it was reforming into that old policeman kind of model. Because it does actually look like the helmet of the police helmet that he was wearing before, but it's not. Because then he all stands up and he's all like that to normal, innit?
He is, Ellie.
So, okay, I have a question for you. With the say the sunglasses, that's a prop, right?
What do you mean?
So the T1000, we're talking movie time now.
Yeah.
So he turns into the cop.
It's movie time. Would
the sunglasses actually be part of the Terminator, or do you reckon he would have picked them off a cop and put them on his face?
No, I think they're just...
Everything would be.
Everything is Terminator.
Oh, okay, cool. Just wondered if you saw them and thought, they're quite snazzy. I put those on. They're quite T1000 like, all silver, all like shiny. What would win between T1000 and T800?
T1000.
Yeah, but it's not the case though, 'cause it drops into molten metal.
Well, the T1000 in Terminator Genesis drops a raindrop of himself into the broken T800 from Terminator 1 and repairs and makes it work again.
He does.
It reconnects whatever damaged circuitry is
but
inside.
He was also Oriental.
He was. It could be anything.
So bizarre. They're doing that in all movies nowadays, aren't they? It's like you were saying in just the other episode the other day about having that black dude in the new Star Wars movie.
Well, the Asian thing is not as prevalent, so I would have thought there'd be more of a fight to get more of like multicultural faces, but it
Why
always,
not more Mexicans?
That's what I mean. It always seems to be the eternal struggle between black and
Or
white.
Inuits?
I refer, of course, to the new Star Wars film. It seems slightly forced that the
Force.
Hey! Force. That the one lead is a girl and the other's a black guy.
Yeah, that's just so pandering to the rules of the PC world that we live
Yeah,
in nowadays.
but if we're going to go down that road, why not have an Indian face?
Why not have a paraplegic, lesbian, transgender pig? So we're representing the animals, the gays,
and the spastics.
all the freaks, all just amalgamated into one person.
No, but it always seems to be this eternal struggle between white girls and black people. You know,
White devil,
I
white
understand,
devil.
but now we're in such a multicultural society. Why not have an Indian or an Oriental? Sorry, Asian. You can't say Oriental. That's the N word. No, it isn't. Relax.
It's not as bad as calling a mixed race person half caste.
Because the speculation,
I
that
did.
the speculation that he could be Lando Calrissian's son, but in order for that to be, I think they wouldn't go down that road. Because I think the Star Wars prequels, which George, the biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistakes he made with his prequels was he tried to tie everything to everything.
Yeah.
So young Darth Vader builds C-3PO as like a pet project in his shack.
What?
Exactly. It's fucking ridiculous. It's a way of trying to tie all the characters together, and that's one of the many things in the
The only
prequels.
person that can do that successfully is J.R. Tolkien.
Lando Calrissian, you know nothing about. You haven't seen Empire, but there's a black actor called Lando Calrissian who's in it. But he's Billy D. Williams, man. He's like,
Empire Strikes Back.
yeah. But they're
Which number's
saying
that?
that John Boyega, who plays Finn, whatever his name is, the defected stormtrooper from Star Wars: The Force Awakens, is the son of him. But I don't know. I think that would tie it too much and ruin it.
Okay.
They should try and distance itself. As I think they probably will. I don't think Disney keep pushing the fact, which I think you mentioned in the last episode, is like they'd probably just do everything with CGI now. I think there's now a push to move back to old techniques because
Yes, bring back the old school.
another
special
worst
effects.
aspect
Shitty effects
of the
as I
Star
call them.
Wars prequels, plus a lot of recent films where they just get actors in front of a green screen and then they just put in the entire environment around them and it looks really fake and not like they're there. Whereas old school films had sets and things and like that and etc.
That's what I mean. They had to be resourceful. They had to think, right.
Well, Disney's
what can
really
we
been
use?
pushing with The Force Awakens. Every piece of press, they go like, it's in real environments and real sets and no little CGI, and they keep pushing that. So they're kind of giving a finger up to the prequels as well. So I very much doubt they'll try and link. Not that Lando's in a prequel, but like kind of like tying the universe together, like they fucking did, well, like, in such a ham-fisted way in the prequels.
Ham-fisted. I fucking love that term. Actually, an arm with a massive ham on the end of it.
So anyway, the shards of T-1000, as I said, were at Cerrobend, which is a low heat melting heat point metal. It was shaped into little shards, and then they just put it on a hot plate and simulated it and melted it basically. Well, the hot plate simulating the floor of the smelting plant. And they used a camping stove to heat it up. So that thing we're watching exactly right now, which looks like. Well, it looks you know what it looks like? If anyone collected, like, in the 1980s who were into Dungeons and Dragons, in England there was a British company called Citadel Miniatures, and they used to sell, like, gaming pieces or collector's pieces of little orcs and stuff that big.
Oh, and you'd paint them.
Yeah, but they were, like, back in the day, they're plastic now, but back in the day they were like,
metal,
they were
yeah.
like lead, actually, which
Oh,
are
yeah,
really
they
bad
were,
for
yeah.
you. But they'd melt at a really low melting point, so you could put one in a saucepan, it would go, "Bleh." Even made that noise.
How did it go?
So, but yeah, it looks like Citadel miniature gaming pieces, basically.
Figurines.
I used to collect many of them as a kid. I used to love painting them.
My cousin had a massive, like, board, and it was all kind of like battle games.
I think American listeners would know it as like Warhammer 40,000. That's the
It
biggest.
is like Warhammer. I think. Well, no,
That's
I
exactly.
think that's what my
that's
cousin
one of
did
their
have.
things. But they
Warhammer.
did many things. But the thing that really took off, I think, was Warhammer 40,000. Because they had Warhammer originally, which was like set in, I guess, a fictitious Middle Ages.
Like kind of Viking style.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
like dwarves, elves, men,
Yeah.
basically all the tropes they stole from Lord of the Rings, basically. And there were like hobbits, and blah blah, anything like you could think of. Elves, I've just said elves, whatever, trolls.
Elves.
But the pieces themselves were so detailed and like beautiful. I used to buy them and like paint them and stuff.
Yeah, my cousin did that,
Yeah.
and we just used to play with them. And I tried to swallow one once.
I think because
It was very painful.
It fitted into that kind of special effects. This is what I want to do in my life: make monsters and paint them and create.
Well, you're very
characters.
artistic, Ethan. I'm surprised you didn't pursue it. Well, actually, no, you didn't have the backing or the funding or anything.
No, I mean, if I knew what I knew now,
What would
obviously
you
I
do
kind of know what to do. I don't know. I think because I know somebody who knows someone who kind of just went, "Fuck this! I'm just going to write to the Jim Henson Creature Shop and just get a job sweeping the floor."
Who did that?
I can't remember. Someone connected to Saskia, I think. But they just started working there, and I think you just need to be cheeky and go, "Can I have a job? I'll
have to
make
hustle.
fucking cups of tea. I'll do anything.
I'll mop the sweat off the sack.
I'll blow someone.
balls
Just
of-
tell me, yeah. Whose dick do I have to suck to get this job?"
Hey, does your mom hold your dicks while you're taking a piss?
Yeah, what did we watch last night? We watched
We watched
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, The Dream
3.
Warriors, and
License to Drive.
the 1988 comedy with the two Corys, Feldman, the one you like, who's the
Yeah,
cool one,
he
and
is so cool.
and Haim, which is
No, I was
is
surprisingly
the cute now dead one.
And a very young Heather Graham.
Oh God,
Ethan did jizz quite a few times watching that movie.
and other movies with her in.
He was just like, yeah, it's the bit when she's in her bedroom and she's waiting for a date to call
The way
her.
she sits with
And
her
he's
leg.
just like, and, you know, she
She's
falls
so
off the
aware.
bed and he goes, she wasn't directed that way. That was the devil inside her. She did that. Sat there, legs akimbo. How old was she in that movie?
18, 19?
Wow.
She was born in 70, so it was 1988. So yeah, she was 18.
Fucking hell. So she's your age?
Yeah, kinda.
Pretty much.
No. Now she's 45, I think.
Fucking hell.
But she looks great for
No
that
final
age.
pictures for Heather Graham.
There actually aren't.
There actually aren't.
There actually aren't. Although you fucking asshole, John Nichols.
Oh, Jessica
After
Biel.
the Jessica Biel talk last night, which one was that then? Did you talk about like 3 episodes back?
About 3 or 4 episodes back.
To be fair though, she was just pregnant, so you could argue.
She is beautiful. Bless you, Ethan.
That was the devil.
Coming out of your face.
Now the smelting
As
bit.
opposed to on your face.
You see this thing, this big vat here
Yeah.
that's like tipping over. That's stuff that's pouring onto the floor, which melts the T1000 parts.
Yeah.
What the fuck do they use for that?
Didn't you say it was like some little...
Oh, by the way,
Barbecue
the bit just
stove
after
thing.
you're smelting, like your modelling metal, Cerrobend, you know, and it
Yeah.
actually turns and looks like liquid. That's
Yeah.
actually mercury.
Oh. Again, highly dangerous.
Apparently, yeah, if you get it in your skin, it's poisonous, right?
Yeah, it is.
Did you ever have mercury stuff at school? It was really fascinating.
In science, maybe.
Yeah. I used to love like watching mercury and poking it because it used to go, "Ooh."
Did you ever lick batteries, Ethan?
No. I ate a lot of lead paint chips though.
I went to school with a kid that used to eat worms. Not even joking.
Right off wig.
Miss, I ate my worm.
Now, the bit where the T1000 actually explodes.
I love how you point, like people can see.
No, bro, I'm helping you because you're like
A
constantly like
spastic.
airy and distracted by stuff. So.
Yep. It's funny because it's true. Yeah, you're pointing. Oh, he puts in the final bullet that eventually saves the day.
Yeah.
Into
Well, the grenade rather.
The grenade.
Yeah, basically, if we were watching the special edition of this, you'd actually see the scene where his hand is stripy, and he like rubberizes it and pulls it off.
Yeah,
And
'cause he goes
you've
to-
discussed this. You don't like that, do you?
I don't like that at all.
Why?
I just thought, what's the point in that?
Well, the reason it was taken out, Cameron said, because as I said before, I think he was kind of forced and asked and paid to do the special editions. I think his preferred version of this film is the theatrical cut,
Yeah.
unlike Aliens, which was his decision to get that obviously put back in. He didn't like the stripy hand bit
I didn't.
because he said it kind of gives you the idea that, oh, he's a bit broken now, so he can be stopped, and he'd never wanted anyone to think up until the last minute that there was anything that could kill this fucking dude.
I just thought it was pointless. I just didn't like it. And the actual effect itself, I just thought, nah. I didn't like it. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did.
And the fact that he kind of like shakes his, like moves his hand to change it, surely it should just change instantly
Yeah.
without any kind of movement needed at all.
No. By the way, these bits.
Yeah.
Now, there's the famous iconic bit, which is when the T1000 kind of reforms and he kind of rises out in that kind of like bagel donut shape out
That's
of his
what I
own
thought.
puddle.
It looks like the policeman's helmet.
Yeah,
Or an Easter Island head.
like my head. But in the background of this,
Old
the
news.
smelting plant, And in fact, we could come to it as a later episode, but when he's like writhing round in the
Yeah.
stuff, I think it's KY jelly, and it's lit from below with giant lamps, basically.
Wow.
And then they put like
It's
little
all coming
bits.
out of you this evening, isn't it, Ethan?
That's the same thing there. They've cut a hole in the edge of this model, so they're lighting it from the other side.
it's
And they're just
KY?
literally pouring KY. Or I think, you know what? I think it's
Dude,
sugar.
how many fucking
or
tubs of
treacle.
lube did James Cameron use throughout his...
James Cameron.
James Cameron. Because that's what he used on Alien, wasn't it?
It was that. Well, Aliens 1979. This is obviously 1991, so it's 12 years later. I mean, much in the 1970s they did use lube on tons
Let's
of
just
stuff.
say he definitely bought a lot of stocks and shares in KY.
KY jelly was like KY jelly was very in vogue at the time, basically. Mentioning the thing we mentioned earlier at the end of last episode, I recently, because Opie and Anthony talked about NAMBLA,
Yeah.
which is an association or organisation which still exists. Basically, it's the North American Man-Boy Love Association.
If
So
you watch South Park, there is an amazing episode which we should link.
We should.
We would. Would chuck chuck, we would chuck chuck.
But yeah, basically they just put it on Front Street and say it's the North American Man-Boy Love Association, and it's I don't know. In the documentary, they kind of say the front of it is
It's okay because this
it's
is
not
how we
okay.
are.
It's them trying to get help or connect with other paedophiles, but it's about men who love boys.
Yeah.
I think it's called the NAMBLA defense as well, which is
Yeah.
what they use in court sometimes.
It's so fucked up, man. Like the main guy that I've in the bit that I've seen that
Yeah,
Ethan was
he's
showing me.
he was the worst.
He looks
He
like
looks like Emperor Palpatine. He looks like
No, he looks like
he
a
looks like
pig.
Darth Sidious.
He looks like I don't know if you guys are au fait with the heavy metal band, goth metal or heavy metal band Slipknot. Looks like, I can't remember which member it was, but they one of them had a pig mask. He looks like that.
Right.
He's got proper pig features. His face is all red, probably because of the blood that's pumping around his body at 100 miles an hour. Because he's so fucking stimulated. Because everywhere he drives, he sees small boys. Going down South Park, gonna have myself a time. South Park is so good. I think that I would never have to watch the news ever again and just watch South Park, and I would be kept up to date in a non-biased way, and it'd probably be factually more accurate than any fucking news channel that you watch on TV. It's so good. It is so good. It's really funny. The other night, I was hanging out with my ex Nick, and we were talking about South Park, and I was saying.
By the way,
fact-
listeners, the reason you haven't had a show for 2 days is because she's been hanging out with her ex Nick.
Yeah. Hi Nick. He doesn't listen to this show.
Neither does the rest of the world, apparently.
No, it's just because I don't know.
It's because the show's shit.
No, it's not. I love the show. And we were saying about how the fact that all of everything that we kind of learn now, really, everything you see in the news, you just think, give it a week. South Park will put out an episode, and then we'll learn the real facts. And we were saying it's a small price to pay for all these horrible things happening. Because I was like, what would we do without South Park, man? Like, what would we do? I was just like, it's a small price to pay for all these horrible, like, disasters and holocausts and death and war.
Well, they were saying on the Opie and Anthony show, it's a shame that no other shows can do that, and they could. But if a live action show with people in did something like that or covered a hot button topic,
But that's why they can't. That's why South Park get away with it, because it is a cartoon.
animation, and
It's
it's
animation.
silly.
Exactly.
It's
They're like,
fucking
it's for kids.
gutless, scared people. That are out
South
there
Park
that
these
won't
days is
make a
not for
stand
kids.
against anything.
Old South Park is a lot more kind of for children. It's a lot more kind of fart jokes and things like that. Whereas now it's so topical. It's so on point. It's so up to date with the news and shit. It's like really political, but it's like comes at it from a really good angle because it's quite true. It's not really very biased, and literally no one is safe. Nobody is safe. Everyone gets attacked. The Caitlyn Jenner episodes have been fucking amazing. You've had all this, like, you know how everything nowadays is all about whole foods and everyone's got to be drinking fucking soya chai lattes to be healthy and eat mung beans and drink coffee that's actually made out of elephant shit. All of that's in it, and they just basically just massively fucking rip the piss out of it. It's so good. But they do an excellent episode on NAMBLA.
Which is now linked in the show notes, along with NAMBLA, the Chicken Hawk documentary. But yeah, I don't know. They're really brazen about it, aren't they?
Yeah, and the way the slant that this particular documentary's having on it, it's almost like they're kind of
Pro.
Yeah. It's almost put with a kind of positive connotation to it.
Well,
It's just
they
like,
say that, but I think
they're not evil, they just need help. And it's just like, it's like the guy said it's like being homosexual. No, it's not.
well, it kind of is.
No, it's not, because when you see these people, they're kind of they're grooming them. That's what it is.
But it's
They're giving them like you sent me a documentary. It wasn't the NAMBLA one, but it's basically the same thing. This actually happened in the UK, and
so why is it not as bad if we, as I said before we started this show, why if someone told me like, oh, a friend at school used to bang his sister. I mean, not his sister, his teacher. Freudian slip. If it was a female teacher and a male student, the guys would go, "Wow, that's amazing."
I think because
if it's a man and a girl, it's like, oh, is it because man is more of a predatory thing?
I think what it
or
is
men are less emotional, don't give a fuck?
I think men develop sexually a lot earlier than girls.
I don't know, because when I was at school, all the super hot girls in my school were dating guys who were like mid-20s to late 20s
Yeah,
with cars and stuff.
but what I'm talking about is like 10-year-old boys who like stumble across their dad's like pornos, or they're up late one night, mum's gone to bed, or they go downstairs and they put on the TV and babe stations on or something. I think boys are a lot more sexually curious from a younger age. So I think the idea of, I think it's a total double standard. I don't agree at all. But I think the idea that an older woman having sex with a younger boy, plus the idea is an older woman can't. A woman is not as powerful as a man, basically. So if the young 12, 13-year-old boy, when you're 13, you're gonna have a certain amount of strength. There's a possibility a young 13-year-old boy could possibly
But paedophiles don't
overpower.
operate that way, do they? For the most part, they groom and kind of.
But this is the
coerce
next,
and
this
talk
is
them
the
into
next
it, no?
question. When you hear about paedophilia, actual full-on paedophilia,
It's not paedophilia. Paedophilia is appreciating, like, all right, so they said it on the Open Anthony show. If you walking down the street and you see a girl in a school uniform, she's got a great rack on her and she's got amazing legs, she's gorgeous. It's okay to look at her in your mind and go, wow, she's really hot.
But that's because she looks like a woman, not because she looks like a child.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's a pederast.
Pederast is someone who fancies people with non-secondary sexual development.
Okay.
So if you're a kid with no tits and like you're 8 years old, that's pederast.
Which you still like.
Paedophile. Only if they're dressed as boys.
Okay.
If it's a girl.
So what I'm saying there is, with these accounts of these pederasts, and there's lots of documentaries on them, there's lots of kind of case files, it's always dudes. What is it? Is there a chemical difference between a man's brain and a woman's brain? You never hear of old women fooling around with really young boys.
Maybe it happens less.
But then when it does happen, wouldn't they make a really big deal out of it?
No, because I don't think the male
Do you
victim
reckon
in
the feminists
brackets.
are covering it up?
No, I think the male victim in a sense is not really the victim. The male victim
Or
probably looks
maybe-
back and goes, that was fucking great.
Maybe an idea behind it is maybe
A couple
less
of
women.
teachers at our school did it, but it was two male teachers, and the girls obviously were the students.
Well, we had a teacher when I was in year 10, so you're like, oh god.
Why do people say that now?
9, 10? What?
What's this year 10 thing? Do they count the years from the first day at primary school to the end?
All I can remember is when
I
I started
I
secondary
went
school,
to
it was
primary
year
school.
7.
I went to
year
primary
11.
school, and then when I got to high school, it was first year to fifth year.
Oh. Yeah, but dude, you were born in the 70s.
So like 11 to 16.
Dude, you guys did O levels and A
Why
levels.
not keep it like that? It's straightforward. What's year 10?
I don't know.
You're 10 years old and you're in year 10. So you went to school when you were 1.
No.
What exactly?
I don't know. I don't know how they work it out. But anyway, what I was actually going to say is the idea of maybe the reason that there aren't as many female pederasts out there is because obviously women have babies and you have more of that maternal instinct, and you might look towards a small child and want to care for them more than actually have sex with them. Maybe that's why. I don't know. Because obviously definitely men and women are wired differently.
But I think when a woman is around boys who are in the teens,
Yeah.
she's more likely to do something maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe she's lonely, or she's got divorced, or there's some guy she has some rapport with. Unfortunately, he's 14 years old.
I mean, I like to think that I'm kind of like a... I'm
Not to
quite
justify it, but Patrice mentioned it on the Opie and Anthony show on a different when they were watching To Catch a Predator. And he was like, I could see myself doing some of these things.
No, I can understand that.
But he said, obviously, it's absolutely wrong if the guy's 50 and the girl's 13. But how many 21-year-olds date 14-year-olds, or fucking 20-year-olds date 15-year-olds?
Yeah, but that's...
And he says nature's taken its course. People find each other attractive. Of course, it's wrong if the guy's weird and 50.
Yeah. What I can understand and what I don't really have an issue with is, say, you know, you get like a 24-year-old boy and he's fucking a 16-year-old girl or whatever. You know, if she does it, like, if she is, you know, DTF, down to fuck, she looks, you know, womanly in the right places, and she is psychologically ready and she's willing and she's fucking gagging for it and saying, fucking stick it in my ass, fucking go for it. I think that's fine.
Well, that's a bit of a leap, to be fair.
My issue is where it is.
Thing
like,
is, Mia was 10, she said.
Dude, you can't fucking discuss shit like that.
But we're not saying a second name.
I know. But anyone that looks on your
All
Facebook
right,
and looks up Mia,
I know two girls who I'm very close to. One of them was 10, and the guy was, I think, 17.
Yeah, see, I don't know I could fuck a 10-year-old.
No, of course. That's really fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
Having said that, that said girl said I was fully aware I was a very sexual person from an early age, and I wanted to do that. And she's completely fine.
But is it from that
Girl
experience?
number 2 that I know was 11. And I think the boy was 13 or 12, so they were kind of the same age.
That to me seems more
now,
normal,
when I was at school, I didn't hear of anyone doing that. I think people play doctors and nurses and stuff, but to actually commit to have full-on sex, I didn't even kiss a girl till I was like 14.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I was scared of everyone.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, Ethan, how
so
times have
shy.
changed.
I know.
It was the nose.
I'm a horror now.
You'll be in NAMBLA soon.
No, because like that is weird. Because when that the guy that we just watched on the NAMBLA thing, he was getting all that. They just filmed him meeting that boy outside the convenience store, and his side of the thing was like, we had this thing, and he told me his birthday, and he's like, he told me all his secrets.
He's 15. He's blooming. He's
and
blossoming.
the way he was like justifying his mind, none of that actually happened. He was just fucking crazy.
Yeah, he is mental.
And the end of that documentary, they say he flees to India, because they film these guys as they are, as you normally would, without judging in a sense. But at the end of the video, they just put all their names, full names at the end of the video. So anyone that watches that could quite easily fucking find them.
Oh yeah, and shoot them.
But yeah, no, it's bizarre. And also, I think these are guys that are like career paedophiles who go out looking for this thing all the time. They actually have a sickness. It's not like, oh, I was on holiday in some like weird third world country and I got drunk and decided just for the experience to get some 12-year-old to blow me.
Oh my god.
Not that that's good either. But like these guys seem really weirdly creepy. Like how you imagine a paedophile to be.
Oh yeah, they are like uber pedos, and they are proud of it. Because I think also what makes these guys different is with paedophiles or pederasts or whatever the fuck you want to call them, it is very much a secret thing. They don't want anyone to know. It is between.
But it's not.
It is
You've
between
seen this documentary. They're they're on marches going, we want our rights. It's my right as a human.
That's what I'm saying. That's the difference between these NAMBLA people and your, you know, Uncle fucking Joe and Grandpa Jim. They don't want to fucking be out there and be like, yeah, this is me. You know, you should accept me. I'm sick. I need help. Blah blah blah. Give me your children. Like, that's all. It's all very much a secretive thing, but that's all part of it. The whole idea of the whole secret and no one else knows, and it's a special bond between the child and the adult. That's all part of it. So these NAMBLA blokes, they're like a whole different type. They're like a whole different.
Like
breed.
the Olympians.
They are. That's what I mean. They are uber pedos. It's fucked up, man. It's so interesting. Love this shit.
And there we have it. We broke down. You know what? I'm going to put the Opie and Anthony clip on as well.
You should.
As a side note, one of the things I actually forgot was as the T-1000 explodes, its prima cord, which is just like they had a fake body of him, a bit like the Interview with the Vampire thing when the ash breaks away, or the Terminator 2 thing. And they just filled it with shards and glitter, like on the outside, and then they just like exploded it and went. To me, though, when he actually breaks apart the body of the T-1000, he looks like he's being pulled apart with wires.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that as well.
He looks like he's coming in half and then collapsing. Like, watch this now. Boom. See that pull?
Yeah. And it is very much a one way, like one.
There's the initial
There's two
explosion.
directions, left and right.
Yeah, to
as
make sure the
opposed
body
to
falls apart.
all over. Yeah, no, it does look fucking awesome though. It still is an amazing scene. I like it a lot. Do you have anything else you want to add on
I was gonna
NAMBLA
say,
or Terminator 2?
if no one's actually heard the Opie and Anthony show, I implore you to watch some of the best bits, which are.
Oh my god, it is fucking hilarious. It's so funny.
In fact, my dream for my life now is to have something like the Opie and Anthony show, where you can talk about anything, be rude about
Absolutely
anyone.
anything, yeah.
They literally cover like all these subjects. They swear. They're basically the other New York shock jocks who are apart from Howard Stern, but I think they're a bit more hardcore.
But I do actually find it interesting though, because the Americans, like obviously not Opie and Anthony,
Well,
but
it's not
America
actual,
is a very prudish.
Yeah, but it's
kind
not.
of-
It's not national radio. You have to pay for Opie and Anthony. It's like
Is it
online.
private?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. You have to subscribe to it. You
So
can't.
it's not like-
just on the
it's not
regular
like
radio.
BBC Two.
The regular radio does
FM.
put highlights, the clean highlights of the show, actually on that you can listen to. The podcast.
And
is
what are they
that.
like? 5 minutes long.
No,
The intro and
I mean-
the outro.
but no subjects like Anthony lusted after his cousin, my cat from hell, sexual harassment and human resources. They talk about really like.
The sexual harassment one, that is one of my favourites. That is so fucking good. Oh my god. That's with Patrice, that one, isn't it? The
Yes.
sexual harassment at work one, yeah, that's with Patrice.
Why can't I harass you?
Why can't I harass you? What does he calls her tits?
Titty meat.
Titty meat. Fucking love that.
Can I sniff your chair?
Look at that titty meat. Why can't I harass you? So good. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for
that
tuning
was
in.
episode 64.
No, 66. God, no, you're doing it now.
I don't know. I just looked at your face and the number 64 just came to me. I don't know why.
So yeah, I've put links for the NAMBLA stuff, the Opie and Anthony talking about the NAMBLA stuff. It's fucking comic genius. Hopefully one day we'll have our own show that will be something like that. In the meantime, thank you for listening. We shall
Thank
return with
you.
episode 67. We'll probably get these two shows following on from each other right now. If it's Saturday night and you're listening to them on Saturday in America, they're pretty much hot off the presses. Or if you're watching them tomorrow, you've missed it by day. Doesn't matter. We've done 6 shows this week. I am aiming to do at least 5 shows a week. Ellie, for some reason, even though she's not admitting it, but in her nature, innately, she's kind of dragging her feet a little bit and not being responsive.
Dude,
to
I've
these
been
shows.
so busy recently. I've had loads of shit going on. I didn't know Nick was going to be coming.
I know-
That was
well, more ways than one. Ow!
It's fine to have sex with your ex.
Not when this show is in jeopardy. Your professional commitment to this show, Ellie. This is all broadcasting practice
I know.
for a possible future.
When we do Vice Radio.
Well,
And we
no,
can
because-
do our own
right,
Opie and
here's the
Anthony.
thing. You've got your desk now. You've got your chair. You've still not started your music blog.
I know.
You contacted Vice. They pretty much offered you a job.
No, they
with,
said...
with no background.
No, they were like, we really like you. We'd like to see some of your stuff, blah, 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 blah. They didn't offer me a job there and then, because if they had, I would have fucking taken it.
Oh God, Ellie. Just get in there, man.
At it. Up there.
Do you know like the amazing? In fact, you know what? There's an amazing documentary. Did you know there's not a subculture? There is a it's all connected to this. I can just put it. There's in Brazil, basically. There's a very bizarre tradition of men having sex with donkeys.
Oh my god.
And in fact, if you don't have sex with donkeys, you're not considered a man. So all the guys, to practice before they meet women, start fucking donkeys from the age of 9 or 10. I'm not even kidding.
So that's their kind of like...
I will put
That's
this up
their
as well.
sexual history and experience.
Yeah, they go and fuck donkeys.
They fuck donkeys and then they go on to women.
But it's become such a national thing. Everyone kind of does it now,
And where was this,
man-wise.
did you say?
Brazil.
Jesus.
I think it's Brazil anyway. Cartagena,
Oh,
which actually is
Colombia.
where part of Romancing the Stone is set. John Wilder?
Oh, yep.
I need your books! That's Cartagena. They all fuck
Cartagena.
donkeys. Cartagena listeners, I apologise. Don't
They
blame me.
all
Blame
fuck
Vice magazines.
donkeys.
I have put the proof under in the show notes, of course, for episode 66. Please enjoy all these videos. There's actually some really good supplementary material. Please listen to the Opie and Anthony Creepy NAMBLA documentary. I've put the actual documentary on there as well. I've put the episode of To Catch a Predator where they talk to Patrice about it. They really do cover it. It's it's so good. Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Thanks. Tune in next week.
Or maybe tomorrow, I don't know.
Or tomorrow.
Maybe I'll make you do another one tomorrow, Ellie.
Hasta la vista.
Now, you hear that tone in a voice? Exactly, that's what I'm talking about. You've got to want to do these shows.
I do!
And you've got to bring the thunder as well.
Dude, we've been fucking firing shit backwards and forwards.
Dead air, Ellie. Oh,
That was in the first one. I was a little bit slow.
come on.
Go.
Away.
Hasta la vista.
Baby. You motherfucker. She got the snoring. I hate you. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Watch out for machines. They're unstoppable. Watch out for machines. I'll be back.